This week on the map, the Rainbows get up in a thriller to go outright flag favourites. Dodgers Ferry keep in touch with the Five after an 8-point win over New Norfolk. We hear from David Hunt on the playing condition of Shark Park. Old Scholars or SFL, who will win next year's rep game? There's Holy Trousers, there's Furphy Play of the Day, and much, much more. It's all here on the map. On tonight's show, we're joined again by my man, Aaron Peach Roberts. Welcome back, Peach.
Nice to be back. Jackson Hill looked pretty comfy in my seat last week, but it's nice to be back. I feel more comfortable here.
He did look good. And we're also joined by the superstar coach from the University Rainbows, Ben Beams. Welcome, Beamer.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Big win for you on the weekend. I mean, it wasn't a big win as far as margin goes, just the points, but a big win over last year's premiers, the Richmond Blues.
Any win over the Blues is a big win. We tried our best to lose it in the last 5 minutes. They never go away, but yeah, got across the line, and yeah, we'll enjoy that 4 points and look forward to this week. Yeah,
terrible conditions down there at uni, very blustery. Did that come into play in the first 3 quarters? Because it was pretty tight the whole way.
Yeah, it was. It was within a goal most of the day, and yeah, we got to 2 goals in front with about 5 minutes to go, and they managed to keep the last couple of the game, I think. So it was yeah, certainly a blustery day, and the skills weren't terrific, that's for sure.
No, Aaron.
Yeah, Ben, really interested in some of the matchups on the day. Who are the key matchups you might have worked on or thought about before the game?
Yeah, we'll look at Cragg up forward. Without Gilmore up there and Morrison, we heard they'd be out for a little bit with injury, so yeah, we put some work into Cragg and kept him quiet for most of the game. Obviously Adam Daft, we match up pretty well on their midfield, we think, but whoever got him, you know, had to be mindful around the stoppages. I think he's still got 25 touches. So.
Yeah, 15 in the last quarter, I think I counted.
Yeah.
The big fella there, Marcus Gardner, was instrumental in the ruck to give your on-ballers, Grant King, Reece Douglas, all that first use of the ball.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. He's been a massive pickup for us. He had a good pre-season. He played a couple of practice games, and I thought, oh, who have we got here? He didn't really fire a shot in the practice games. He might be a bit like myself, Tube's not like the practice games, but when the real stuff started up, he's probably been our most consistent player for the year. So rucked all day Saturday and didn't change or come off once, so massive effort.
For uni and the Old Scholars, I think it's great to see a bit of youth in the Rainbows. You've got Blake Waite, Stephen Waite's son, coming through. He's 16, 17 years old, and Ethan Brock as well. What can you tell us about how you're trying to drive that youth through the Uni Footy Club?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I mean, we're pretty lucky picking Blakey up. Cricket's his main sport, so he finished up underage at North Hobart and decided to take a step back to the Old Scholars, and he played a practice match intra-club one night and kicked 3 goals and was best player without even training. So he made his way into the round one, so he's been a fantastic pickup. Ethan Brock, he's a terrific young lad, exciting, works with Reece Douglas. Found the pressure of the Mariners and TSL, you know, to be a bit too much, so he wanted to have a year back with a few mates. So we're sort of lucky to have that youth on our side, and something that Stefan's working really well with in the reserves as well. We've had a lot of students that can actually play footy come down as well.
Speaking of students, the nature of the Uni Footy Club, I think, Beamer, is that you do have that transient type of player come in for 3 years, 4 years and then go after they've finished their degree. Is that something you're trying to combat at University Football Club?
Yeah, it's certainly something we've identified in my time there that we wanted to fix, because I was finding myself repeating, you know, everything year after year, which is good. It keeps things new for me, but with a new group of players, but you couldn't really develop them. Hence, we've only won flag in 23 years. I think that's the biggest reason, is the turnover of players we have.
Maybe need to target some more academics that are in uni for about 15 years. Some of them go and do a doctorate or something.
Yeah, that's it.
They might not be able to play football. They're probably good at hanging around though.
Just on that, you, despite being a transient football club and having players come and go, Nick Fenton's a bit of a success story for the Uni Footy Club, 150 games on the weekend.
Yeah, fantastic story. He started in 2009 when I was there, and yeah, he wasn't the best player going around trolley back in those days, but he was fantastic clubman. He does a lot of work behind the scenes with the committee and everything like that as well, and he's one of those guys that he's first pick these days. First to train and last to leave. He's just one of those great clubmen.
Never skips leg day either.
Yeah, and there's also some development at the ground. It's a pretty ancient sort of facilities there, Ben. You've done well to keep it warm all those years, but some good developments. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, they're looking at spending, I think it's $500,000 on the facilities, which is fantastic. Our change rooms are cricket club rooms. We'll be extending the rooms out where the wet area is there. The scoreboard's going. We'll have an electronic scoreboard up in the next few weeks, I think, with the cricket club and the uni putting in for that as well. So, yeah, it's fantastic times.
Now, just off the field, we've spoken a little bit about the Uni Footy Club as well, and we see the new facilities that are happening down there. That's probably in part to do with the female side that's come on board. How have you seen that for the footy club?
Yeah, well, I think the Mercury did an article, I think it was last November, and put a big cross against the university for facilities-wise for female sport. Obviously, the showers and the toilet facilities and everything like that is so small, and it needed to get better. And yeah, we probably have to thank the Mercury for that article, putting a big cross. It's brought some things into action with the women's team. So yeah, it's really good. They won their first game the other week, and I think they copped a big loss to Lindisfarne on the weekend. So yeah, they're going to probably battle this year to get too many more wins under the board, but they'll improve as the year goes on.
Yeah, work in progress obviously down there. Now, Beamer, you are a former AFL player and a former VFL Devils player. There's a lot of talk about the TSL and the VFL and all that sort of stuff at the moment. What's your take on all of that?
I'm never short of an opinion on Tassie football tubes, as you know, and I just think we had the structure right a few years ago. I was lucky enough to play footy with the Devils, and still got some lifetime mates from that period. Playing for Tassie every week, it doesn't come any better. I think with the Tassie Mariners full-time, the Devils full-time, and maybe going back to regional football is my opinion.
Yep.
But the Devils was certainly a magic time in footy. And yeah, let's get 10,000 people back to Bellerive on a Saturday afternoon.
Well, just the reality of it though, Ben, do you think that the Devils and also the TSL can compete, or can they actually work together?
I just don't think the TSL works now, so I don't see how it's going to work with the Devils system in there as well, when you know your best 3 players from each club will be playing in that every week. So,
but you were in the AFL for a long period of time. Was the motivation to come back to play VFL for you as a player who's still playing good football in the VFL yourself on the mainland?
Yeah, it was. I wanted to come home, and it was just worked out that the VFL side was there. Otherwise, I was most likely going to go to Adelaide. So yeah, that was the next best league, the SANFL or the VFL then. So yeah, we were lucky enough to have the Devils around. So.
No one really wants to go to Adelaide, do they, Beamer, really? I mean, you'd be happier coming back to paradise down here in Tasmania. All right, Beamer, we'll leave it there for you, mate. Of course, we do have the 6-pack of Furphy for you today, mate, for coming on board, and all the best for the rest of the season. I'm sure we'll probably have you or someone from the Rainbows back before the season ends. Thanks very much, Beamer. We'll now cut to an interview with David Hunt down there at Shark Park, where Dodgers Ferry defeated New Norfolk.
Yeah, it's a map here at Shark Park in the eastern suburbs of Dodgers Ferry. Looking forward to this game. David Hunt, the coach of the Sharks, looking forward to this clash, mate?
Yeah. It's a really exciting day for the boys. We've been thereabouts this year. 1-3 isn't a really great reflection of the footy we've played this year. So
has it been frustrating because you had a close loss to Hobart? You kind of got close to Lindisfarne. Where do you think you should be at this stage of the year?
We just haven't been consistent enough. I think we looked at it. We've won 11 out of the 16 quarters, but won one game. That just shows the boys aren't consistent enough. There's plenty of youth there, but they just got to play 4 quarters, and against a young team in New Norfolk, I see that they're just as young, if not younger, than us today. So that's a really good challenge for the boys on our home deck, and we're looking forward to hopefully banking the 4 points.
And there's a few lads today got some milestones. Tell us about the players that got some milestones today.
Yeah, the captain, Mark Cusick, he's playing his 200th. He's only 26, I think, so he's been here since he was a young fella, and the boys just love him. He's just a real heart and soul of the club. And Brad Jackson, he's played 150th, but he's probably missed 150 as well through injury, so it's exciting for him to get to 150.
Just looking around the ground, it's a bit patchy.
Yeah.
It's gives an idea that the players in the ground here is that what's the issue with the surface?
So we haven't had any rain down here.
Well, it's green.
Yeah, no, it's green, but yeah, it's really sandy and just haven't had the rain, and so it's but the boys find a way to battle through with it. So they'll be a bit sore. The Norfolk boys, they're used to playing on the pristine Boyer oval.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it's going to be a little bit sore, but the ground is getting a bit better. But yeah, it's not ideal.
All right, best of luck, David, today.
Cheers.
Hope you boys go well.
Thank you.
All right, that's the map here at Shark Park.
Joined now on the map by the captain, 200 gamer and life member of the Dodgers Ferry Sharks, Mark Cusick. Welcome to the map.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Good win by you guys on the weekend. We'll cut to that in just a few moments. Aaron, you were down there at Shark Park.
Well, I got a bit lost. I thought I needed a bucket and spade there for a while, Mark. Just give us an idea. The ground wasn't in great condition, and we saw with the interview with David that it looked quite sandy. What's the problem at the moment?
It's not real flash at the minute. The council's taken over it, and it's just it's sort of getting worse and worse. They've run out of bore water at the moment, and they reckon it costs $1,000 a week to keep it going, but there seems to be a lot of money going to Pembroke Park and
all up there at the Eagles.
Not much going to Dodgers Ferry. But
well, we just got to maybe siphon some water from someone's tank or something, do we, to get that ground a bit wet, because it certainly was challenging at different stages. A couple of players had some milestones too. Yourself, 200 games, and Brad Jackson kicked. Oh, yeah, 150 games I think it was for Brad.
Yeah, kicked his 6 goals in his 150th. Probably 2 more than last year's season total, but no, he was sensational. He was really good.
This is against the run of play here too. So Norfolk kicked a couple. Marcus Parker looked dangerous, and he went back and kicked this one. He put it well into, well, somewhere in the bushes there.
Almost kicked it to Pembroke Park.
And he kicked another really good one just in a couple of seconds. How many goals did you say he'd kicked in the last couple of years?
Yeah, I'd imagine it wouldn't be 6, but no, he's been really good for a long time. But he's had a few injury problems. We'd get into him a bit about his injuries, which I probably can't talk about much. But yeah, no, he's been a lot better, and that was an unreal game. He probably won us the game, really, up forward, because we were pretty short. We had a fair few out. So.
Well, he was on. Bank Smith was on him for a while. He's a 6'3", 6'4". There's other few tall guys, so it didn't look like you were going to kick one. But then he turned it around and it certainly worked. And what was the strategy? Marcus Parker was dangerous.
Yeah, we couldn't stop him.
Yeah, you couldn't, but you still managed to get the ball off half back. Who were the better players off half back?
Yeah, we had young Jordan McDermott. He ran it off really well. He played it, and he used it really well today, or Saturday, sorry. Yeah, no, he was good. Jade Young down there, I probably won't talk about him much, but yeah, no, he was
What, he'd love to hear his name on the map?
It's probably a wonder he's not here.
He's not going to pop out behind the green screen or something and
He
surprise
loves a bit of showtime, Jade. So.
Just like not Jaden, I beg your pardon, just like David Hunt, who you said would have been just chomping at the bit to talk to Peach down there.
Yeah, he was pretty flat. You guys sent me in here, actually. He really wanted to get in here, but yeah, you guys were setting up, and I saw him just walk across and ask for an interview before the game.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, it was more asking than that was very nice of him to chat to us at a very short notice.
Just quickly touching on you personally, Mark, you're a 200 gamer now at the Sharks. What does it mean for you to become a life member of the Dodgers Ferry Sharks?
Yeah, been a long time down there, and obviously I've got a fair bit of family that's played there as well, so it's pretty good to
tell us about that, mate. Your family history with that place.
Yeah, well, Uncle Paul holds the record for the most games. He's played nearly 460, I think, and the old man played a couple hundred, and brothers played 200. And Dave Kissick's played 250 odds. So,
was there you were a young lad when you first started playing for Dodgers? Any inclination to play for another team, or did anyone try and snatch you in the pre-season?
Yeah, Lauderdale a little bit, but they sort of gave up.
They realised you were a true blue Ferry boy.
Tried with Dave a fair bit and found it pretty hard with him, so yeah, I was never really going to leave. But yeah.
What's the relationship there? Because I know that a lot of the Dodgers Ferry young guns do go and play at Lauderdale. Is there some sort of correlation between the two clubs, or what's happening there?
Yeah, there's meant to be a bit of give and take. It's probably more give from us, but no, they're a pretty good club, and I think it's just the closeness.
Yep.
Yeah, and Lauderdale, and yeah, they have a pretty good vibe there, same sort of vibe as Dodgers Ferry.
Yeah. So who have they got next week, Aaron?
The Sharks. Yeah, the Sharks. Well, the Sharks have. Who have you got? You've got
the Claremont.
You've got Claremont at the Mont. To be a challenging game.
Tough game to go out there, but I think we played pretty well on the weekend. We've been playing really well before that as well. We've shown good signs, but it's probably that 1 or 2 quarters every game's let us down a bit. But we'll give ourselves a chance. It's meant to be a fair bit of rain as well, which will probably knock it back to our level a bit. pretty inside.
While it rains and brings the game back, Shark Park will green up hopefully. Throw some more grass.
Right. Fingers crossed.
Just touching on one thing before we let you go there, Mark. There's a lot of talk at the moment out there in the football world about the TSL and all that sort of stuff, State League footy, VFL, blah, blah, blah. But we're going to bring it back to Southern Regional Football. There's a lot of talk about SFL versus the Old Scholars in a rep game. How do you think that'll work? And do you think it'll happen?
Yeah, well, it makes sense. Like it's probably more personal between the two leagues, and you probably we struggle to get a lot of people sort of motivated to play it during the season where you want to have that week off where you're injured. But if you're playing against those guys, it's sort of a bit more bragging rights for down this way, isn't it? So we might get a few more blokes playing. So
yeah,
I think it should work.
Well, there we go. We've just seen the vision now from last year's game, the NWFL versus the SFL, where it rained like cats and dogs up there at Ulverstone. It was a horrible, horrible day. So hopefully you get some of that rain this weekend down there at Shark Park. We're going to cut now to street talk. Now, Peachy, you have taken this upon yourself to go down there and talk to some of the locals.
Well, street talk's probably the wrong thing, but it was certainly, we got some interesting information. We had a bit of a vox box on would the SFL or the Old Scholars, which team would win if there was a representative game. So there's whispers afoot, and let's see what happened.
Rightio.
Yeah, we're here at Shark Park. Well, actually, it could be Sandpit Park. There's a lot of sand out there. However, the hot topic in football has been all week's been congestion in the AFL, and then also Ross Lyon being a bit of a naughty boy a little while ago. But local footy topic, it's talking about the Southern Football League and the Old Scholars playing a representative match next season. The question we're going to ask a few punters here is who would win? Let's find out.
Let's go straight over this man who's doing a selfie.
Yeah. Well, this is what happens.
Taking a picture of me, taking a picture of him.
Well, this is what happens. We're going to ask you a question.
I don't know if I've got an answer for
Well, you don't have to have an answer. You just have to have an opinion.
Rightio.
If the Old Scholars play the SFL in a representative football game, who would win?
Old Scholars, I reckon.
Old Scholars.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Old Scholars won. Yeah, next person, we've got another question here on the map. If Old Scholars play the SFL in a representative football game, who would win?
I'd say the SFL blokes would.
There you go. It's 1-1 at the moment. SFL 1, Old Scholars 1.
Who said Old Scholars? Not that bozo with the friggin' tea cozy on, did he?
Well, it could be a bit tight. I'm not sure if it's actually going too tight to his head, but he's optimistic.
He's had one kick today and he's done a hamstring.
Who would win, Old Scholars or the SFL? If the Old Scholars play the SFL in a representative football match, who do you think would win?
I might have my money on the Old Scholars.
Yeah, okay.
I reckon we're a bit deeper in this competition. But, class-wise, I think they might have the edge on us.
Do you think the two competitions should merge next year?
I don't know what's going to happen in football next year. It's like if you finish up disbanding the State League and you finish up with only 5 Southern sides, they're going to want to take something from somewhere, whether it's from this league or whether it's from the Old Scholars. Yeah, very concerned about the state of Tasmanian regional football.
Yeah, okay, thanks very much for that.
No worries.
Old Scholars versus SFL.
Yeah.
SFL, comfortably.
Comfortably, there you go. SFL 3-2 so far.
I'd say the SFL for sure.
Yeah, okay, and if the two competitions merge, good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's something that's got to happen for sure. Definitely, if the TSL folds, it's got to be a 2-tier comp for sure, and I think it'd be a good thing. Even up the comp a little bit, maybe. There's 5 TSL sides, 9 of us. So maybe if the top 2 out of the SFL went over to Tier 1 and we kept Tier 2 going, and then it'd be nice if we got a bit of funding from the AFL to keep us going.
Well, there you go. We maybe got the model right there for next season. It's Canteen Watch here at Shark Park. Firstly, Old Scholars, if they played the SFL in a representative game next season, who do you think would win?
St Virgil's.
We've got some of the youth from the Dodgers Ferry. We've got Archie here. Archie, if the Old Scholars played the SFL next season in a representative game, who would win?
Old Scholars.
What's your answer?
SFL.
The Old Scholars.
The Old Scholars. Old Scholars.
There you go. Old Scholars are going to get it by the look of it. So a very interesting discussion here with some of the youngsters, maybe the football future here at Dodgers Ferry.
Well, we met some interesting characters down there at Shark Park. A whole fortitude of people, and they love their footy. And I really enjoyed my day there. Mark, give us an idea. Were you related to a lot of those people, or you know them?
Oh yeah. Everyone sort of knows everyone down there, and everyone chips in. It's a pretty good community. Like it's a pretty tight community down that way. You sort of have to be to run a club, but no, it's a good feel down. It's pretty laid back, but it's good. Yeah.
Well, Mark, thanks so much for joining us here on The Map. We do, of course, have our favourite six-pack of Furphy there for you, mate, to enjoy on the way back home down the Dodgers Ferry. Don't think I would pour it onto the ground though, mate. I don't think the grass will grow with Furphy. That'll go down the gullet. But thanks very much for joining us. All the best against Claremont this week. We're going to cut now to Holy Trousers. We're giving that a run again. Not sure how many more weeks we've got in us, Aaron, but we'll have a look and cut to Holy Trousers.
Holy trousers, holes in your trousers.
What should the structure of football look like? Currently, everyone has an opinion about this. The problem is that each opinion is different. TSL clubs want the competition to remain and funds increased, while some supporters want the TSL to fold and clubs to return to regional competitions. Others are desperate for maybe the return of the Devils. 2 AFL clubs play in Tasmania and they invest in academies and have paid staff on the ground. Could they be the ones to invest in Tasmanians' football future? What if Hawthorn and North Melbourne fund and support 2 VFL sides along with junior academies? One club in Launceston supported by Hawthorn and one in Hobart backed by the Kangaroos. AFL Tasmania could then go back to supporting community football and leave talent pathways to sophisticated infrastructures of AFL clubs. Any proposed VFL side would need to be an existing club. This keeps it authentic and connected to community. It could be North Launceston and Glenorchy or Clarence and Launceston, but whoever it is, provide them with the right support to ensure that they succeed. And that's Holy Trousers.
Well, some interesting thoughts there, Peach.
Well, it's just continuing our conversations of our guests in the studios and probably conversations in the wider media and also in the paper. And we'll see what happens.
Exactly. I'm very excited to hear what the steering committee has to say on June 30. Next week, we've got a few games to go to. We'll be going to Dosa and St Virgil's up at the TCA and the SFL.
Yeah, in the SFL, head across to Anzac Park, Lindisfarne versus Huonville. First time covering Huonville Lions this year. Looking forward to it.
Really excited to see Big Mickey Paul down there in action. So that's it from us here at The Map. Until next week, take care and bye for now. This week's Furphy Play of the Week goes to the University Football Club here. They were a point in front and right in the dying moments of this match, they needed another goal to just put a little bit of distance between them and Richmond. The ball came in, a nice contested grab here by Blake Waite right on the forward 50 there. He drove it inside forward 50. He knew he had some open space down there. Jack Tammons did really well to keep the ball in and just handball to a running Chrissy Howard who dribbles the goal through. And that is the Furphy Play of the Week.